Fuad Shukr, the coast commander of Hezbollah, was killed on July 31st in an Israeli strike in Beirut. Shukr was the senior-most Hezbollah commander killed by Israel in the 10-month-long war. Hezbollah had vowed to avenge Shukr's death. In the early morning of August 25th, at least 100 Israeli warplanes carried out massive attacks in Lebanon, which Israeli authorities claimed was a preemptive strike. But Hezbollah still launched over 300 Katyusha rockets and drones towards Israel, hitting Israel's north and even a Tel Aviv suburb. After the bombardment, both sides signaled de-escalation, but the war of attrition continues. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to hurt whoever is hurting us. Israel also has immense firepower and the backing of the United States, the world's most powerful country. Still, Israel doesn't have credible deterrence against Hezbollah, which continues to fire rockets into Israel's territory. What is Hezbollah, and why is the militia permanently at war with Israel? Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Realpolitik. This is Johny, the Hindu's International Affairs editor. The roots of Hezbollah go back to Israel's 1982 war on Lebanon, which the then Likud Prime Minister Menachem Begin said would bring 40 years of peace for Israel. Lebanon was in the grip of a devastating civil war that began in 1975. According to Lebanon's post-French constitution, power was divided among the country's three different communities. The presidency is reserved for the Christians, the premiership for the Sunnis, and the speakership for the Shias. Roughly 40% of Lebanon's population are Arab Shias. The influx of Palestinian refugees into Lebanon and the relocation of the Palestinian Liberation Organization to Lebanon from Jordan in 1971 would create fissures in Lebanon's delicate confessional system. This would lead to the civil war. While the Sunnis and the Maronite Christians were the powerful sects, the Shias were the invisible majority in the country. Israel attacked Lebanon in 1978 and again in 1982, first to push the PLO out of the border region and then out of the country. In 1982, the PLO agreed to leave Lebanon, but one community that bore the brunt of Israel's disproportionate bombing was the already marginalized Shias. Take a step back and look at the broader geopolitical context of that period. In 1979, a geopolitical earthquake had shaken West Asia. In Iran, which was an American ally, thousands of years of monarchy was brought down. The Persian Empire became an Islamic republic. Revolutionary Iran, which was already fighting a conventional war with Iraq, sensed an opportunity in Lebanon's chaos. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of the Iranian regime helped mobilize thousands of Shias in Lebanon in 1982 to form a loose network of what was then unofficially called the Islamic Resistance. One of the first targets of the Islamic Resistance was the multinational force deployed in Lebanon. In April 1983, the US Embassy in Beirut was bombed, killing 63 people. In October the same year, 305 people, mostly American and French soldiers, were killed in suicide attacks on their military barracks. Following these attacks, the multinational force would leave Lebanon, providing the first victory to the newly organized Shia militants. Israeli troops retreated to a security zone in southern Lebanon. In 1985, the Islamic Resistance came up with a manifesto calling for the destruction of the State of Israel, promising to oust the occupied forces from Lebanon and declaring allegiance to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Per some reports, it was Imam Khomeini who picked the name Hezbollah, literally the party of God for the new movement. Over the years, Hezbollah has built sprawling social, political, and military networks with deep roots in Lebanon's Shia community. In southern Lebanon, a Shia stronghold, it carried out a disciplined, effective, popular guerrilla war against the occupying Israeli forces, turning the security zone into an insecurity zone. The party organization has been built in a Leninist order, centralizing authority in the hands of the Secretary General. The chief would oversee a 7-member Shura council, like the Politburo of a communist party, and then there are sub-councils. The social network caters to the Shia working class, offering support including healthcare and education assistance, while the political and parliamentary councils have played the role of a kingmaker in Lebanon's fractured polity since 1992. Yet, the most important arm of Hezbollah is the Jihad Council, which controls the movement's military activities. Israel assassinated Hezbollah's co-founder Abbas al-Musawi in 1992 as part of a policy of targeted killings to weaken its enemies. But the man who succeeded Musawi, Hassan Nasrallah, turned Hezbollah into a socio-political militant giant, a state within the state, though it has been designated as a terrorist outfit by Israel and several of its allies. In 2000, after 18 years of occupation, Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak decided to unilaterally withdraw troops from southern Lebanon, which Hezbollah celebrated as the first Arab victory in the history of Arab-Israel conflict. But Israel's withdrawal would not quieten the Lebanese border. Hezbollah said it would continue to fight the Israelis as long as its occupation of the Sheba farms and the Palestinian territories continues. In its 2019 updated manifesto, Hezbollah reiterated its commitment for the destruction of the State of Israel. In 2006, after Hezbollah carried out a raid and abducted 2 Israeli soldiers, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert declared war against the militant group. The war lasted for over 30 days, and even on the last day of fighting, Hezbollah launched hundreds of rockets into Israel. Israeli airstrikes and ground invasion destroyed much of Hezbollah's military infrastructure, but the group survived and emerged politically stronger in Lebanon. In the subsequent years, Hezbollah rebuilt its military power, mainly with help from Iran. From the 1980s, Syria's Ba'athist regime has been a conduit between Iran and Hezbollah. When Bashar al-Assad's regime was losing control in the midst of the Syrian civil war in 2011, Nasrallah dispatched thousands of soldiers to fight alongside the Syrian army. Under Russian air cover and with support from Iran, the Syrian army, Hezbollah, and other Shia militias turned around the civil war in Syria. Hezbollah emerged stronger out of the Syrian conflict with newly gained battlefield experience. It has also strengthened the Iran-Syria-Hezbollah axis. Israel sees Hezbollah as a potent rival, unlike other non-state actors, including Hamas. According to the International Institute for Strategic Studies in London, Hezbollah has up to 20,000 active fighters and as many reservists, with an arsenal of small arms, tanks, drones, and long-range rockets. In November 2022, while briefing about Israel's past conflicts with Hezbollah on the Lebanese border region, an Israeli brigadier told me that they never underestimated Hezbollah, which has now amassed more than 100,000 rockets. Hezbollah is a tough enemy. They have very good military equipment. They are very well trained, he then said. Ever since October 7, 2023, Nasrallah, the Hezbollah chief, has upped the game. He has continuously attacked Israel without launching an all-out war. He says Hezbollah would not cease fire unless there is a ceasefire in Gaza. Israel has retaliated with airstrikes in Lebanon, but it doesn't have a clear military solution for Hezbollah. If an all-out war breaks out between Israel and Hezbollah, it would be disastrous, as the 2006 war would testify. Both sides seem reluctant to go for a wider war as of now, but they are not ready to back off either. This means the slow-burning war in Israel's north will continue to rage with potential for regional conflagration. Thanks for watching. For more such videos, please subscribe to The Hindu.